how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Launchpad with Moon Landing. I am your host, Chris, and today we have a very special guest. We have Base Physics with us. How you doing, man?
What's up? I'm doing excellent. How are you, Chris?
Good. Glad to have you with us.
I'm glad to be here.
So, right off the bat, one of my favorite things about you is that like to spend a lot of time in nature. And that's something that I relate to as well. Like, and I use that to get a lot of inspiration for different things like art and music. Is that something that you use to get creative juices flowing for new music?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love to be in nature, travel the world. I love beaches, but I am a mountain boy. I was born in Colorado. So being in the mountains and just being in serenity kind of quiets the mind. Um, Definitely use it for creative juices. It's tough though. I just took a trip to Bali for a month over the summer, and like the plan was to write music the whole time, but you end up just traveling and adventuring and you're exhausted by the end of the day. And it actually ends up that putting yourself in that mindset of, peace and tranquility really helps when you do get into the studio.
Absolutely. And just having that extra time to calm your mind and then also just have a level head when you're doing it so that you don't either misconstrue the ideas that you have or that it's become something that you didn't envision. But also just being around those environments, whether it's nature or whether you're on tour, has being in those different environments helped shape you as a person also.
Oh, absolutely. I think nothing has helped me grow as a person more than traveling, more than, like playing shows and going to other countries, but more so just being in unfamiliar environments, learning different cultures. Nothing really helps you grow more and see, I guess, more open-minded perspective than doing that, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And something else that's really cool about you that stands out, and you've had a lot of changes to your logo lately too. And it also reminds me now, specifically the periodic table. Was that something that was going on with your brand as well that you had
Oh
envisioned
yeah,
already?
yeah, for sure. Well, Base Physics originally started as a duo, and we named Base Physics as he was database, I was applied physics. We just put the names together and it was cool. But as things progressed, he left mutually in 2016 and kind of had to figure out, okay, how am I going to brand this name Base Physics and have a visual identity with it that lines up with the name and the music and something that people can really vibe with and want to be a part of. And so I think incorporating the name physics with the logo, the visual, aesthetic appeal of the periodic table and kind of having more of an elements and like earth metals, like this kind of scientific approach to it. It's tough to do without like being cheesy because it's been done so many times, right? So like I don't really worry about that stuff. Everybody's done space, everybody's done the science stuff, and I just try to keep it as organic as possible. And I make all of my artwork myself through AI, and just try to, I guess, just put my heart out there. And if it comes off as sciency and spacey and cheesy, then that's dope.
Yeah, everyone rides with it, and it's awesome. It's an awesome theme. You can't go wrong with it.
Oh yeah,
And
I agree.
yeah, and just going off of that too, I didn't know that you used AI to use most of your artwork. How?
Yeah, yeah. I think since about 2 years ago, I've been creating everything through Midjourney, um, and then like touching it up through Photoshop AI and adding in little stuff, and it really makes the process of being a music creator a lot easier because you're not waiting on graphic designers and you're not having to pay all of that investment to get a song out there. You can just go up, type in dog on a unicycle or whatever you want in Midjourney and get a sweet album artwork. So
Yeah,
um
exactly.
yeah, no, it's great with the technology, and I'm excited for that to get mixed in with music. Not necessarily type in words and have a song made, but to be able to have AI match match timbre, match, you know, sounds that you already have made, and then come up with other sounds that match that, and then you can use those in your song. That, you know, that kind of process aids within the music realm that will be really helpful with AI, that I'm excited for.
Absolutely. And even though AI is still so very new, there's so many powerful tools within it, like you said, Midjourney, ChatGPT, that just makes the process so much easier. Are there any tips or tricks that you've learned along the process of learning that technology that helps you come up with the perfect idea or perfect cover art?
Well, specifically with Midjourney, there's like the gallery of what everybody else is making. So if you just go in there and look at somebody else's prompt, and the prompt is just what you type in to get the image, right? Just look at their prompt and copy some of their settings, some of the things that they put in the prompts, and then put your own description in it. And that's a really good way to get, you know, if you want more of like a, I guess like comic book style animation, you know, you got to put that in the prompt, and sometimes you need to find the right words to get that out of the Mid Journey. So it's really just like using, it's trial and error most of the time. Like you just sit there and make 300 images, and then one of them ends up cool.
Yeah, yeah, because some of them will look a little distorted, but some of them will look really cool at the end of the day too. So that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that like you've been in the scene from what I've seen over a decade, and I've been a fan of your music for years as well. Um, through your entire journey, through starting as a duo, then going solo to up till today, what are some of the biggest lessons you learned as an artist?
Do it because you love it. You know, like there's nothing else that will like like you almost have to be uh you know, delusional. Like you just have to do it because you love it. Like you can't think about, is this going to work, is it going to pay anything, is it going to pay your bills, or like any of that. You know, you just have to do it because you love it. And if you have the right intentions behind that, and you know, why you're in the space in the first place, your heart won't let you give up on it.
Exactly. And it's so important to have that reminder for artists coming up, especially new kids in the scene and even artists established like yourself. We all need that little reminder that we're all here for the same reasons, just because we enjoy it, and that commitment got us where we are now.
Yep, absolutely, man.
Yeah, you're right on the money, dude. Uh, you traveled to Bali recently, right?
Yeah, I did Bali and Singapore and Australia, with Sodown and my buddy Huck Film.
Yeah, I saw that. It was really cool. And how did you or how does it feel to have developed a relationship with so many creative people like that, like Sodown, and how has working with them made you a better producer and a performer?
Um, yeah, it's like the same answer as traveling. You know, there's nothing better musically than learning and working with other people, and you know, putting yourself in those pressure situations where you have to perform in front of the people that you look up to. That that really pushes you forward, and you know, making sure that whenever you're with those people, you don't take it for granted. You really like pay attention to any kind of insights or any words that they give you. And like, you know, it's easy to just like hang out with homies and like kind of shoot the shit, but it is also like there's a lot of wisdom behind all of my friends. And if you're quiet and you listen, like you will learn so much from all these people. And I think that's something that is amazing about the Denver music scene specifically, because there's so many bass producers here, and so many of us are like, you know, really close homies, and we're here to help each other, and help each other grow. So it's a really cool community.
It is. It's legendary up there too, and I'm still trying to get up there eventually just to see the scene in all its glory because I hear so many good things about it. And then you had a single recently that came out with Micah Martin. That's Where I've Been. That's one of the big
Yes.
ones. To
So
me, I
that
think. Actually, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like after listening to that, it feels like the new festival anthem, in my opinion, just because that that fusion of rock and bass that you put in there, and I thought it was amazing how you incorporated all of that.
Oh yeah, thank you. That one was really, really cool. That's actually the second single off of my upcoming album that comes out this Thursday. It's January 8th right now. So on January 11th, we'll have the album come out, and that's one of the songs that's on there. As well as I had Micah out for Decadence. We performed it live. And then he stayed at my place for a few days, and we have another song that's just amazing that we're working on too. So stoked on that new relationship with Micah. We really work well together.
That's awesome. And how did it feel to work with him during that process? Did it bring you back to the memories when you were starting out and him just camping out at your house for a little bit?
What do you mean with Micah?
Yeah, it's just the process of producing the song, and you said he stayed over for a little bit and you worked
No,
on
this
the track.
well, where I've been, I sent him over the internet, over email. We hadn't met each other yet, and we just connected on it virtually. I'm talking about a new song that we wrote after Decadence, this weekend, like yesterday, pretty
Ah,
much.
oh
Yeah, so
wow,
he,
so it's very new.
yeah, it's not, it's something that we're just now working on, but it's already like, I'm so excited about it. So,
Oh, look at that. Well, we heard it here first. You have a new one with Micah under your belt.
oh yeah.
Love to hear that. Awesome, man. And with your new album coming up this Thursday, what can fans expect? Like, is it more on the emotional side? Would you say that you're taking them on a journey? How would you describe the album that you put together?
So I guess in one quote, the album's called Lost in Space. And I wanted to say, if anybody out there is feeling lost in space right now, there is a way back home for you. The last song on the album is called Way Back Home, and it's definitely an emotional roller coaster. I wanted to make sure that I held true to the Bass Physics name of, a very like nostalgic, familiar feeling, bass heavy, emotional vibe that also is something that you can just like, you could party with your friends at a rave to it, but you could also just sit back and close your eyes in your room and just listen to it and enjoy it. Um, there's so many moments on the album that like, uh, I've heard it thousands of times now, but when I was writing it, like so many times that I just teared up and just like sat back and was like, wow, this is the most beautiful thing that I have created yet. So it is a concept album. It's not playthrough from beginning to end as far as like seamless, but it tells a story from beginning to end. And a lot of that story is, the successes, the gains, the losses and failures of the last 10, 12 years of being in the music industry, and myself finally being able to debut that into a personal message as a solo artist, with like an album. So just beyond excited to get this music out there, honestly. And it's something that has been years in the making, but only was written in the last like 4 months, which is crazy because 11 songs in 4 months is very, very fast for my old pace of like one song in 6 months.
Yeah.
Honestly, I went to Bali and came back and just felt like a whole new human, and had all of this energy and this motivation, and could finally put all of those emotions of the past years into music. And it feels amazing to be able to do that.
Yeah, man. And your music has touched so many people over the years, and especially mine too. So thank you for all of the art that you're creating. And speaking of your music connecting with people, you've had a huge amount of support recently on your music. Besides the album you have coming out this week, you've had support on your remix for Elenium recently in the last few months. Describe that feeling. How does it feel to have support from people that big?
It's incredible. I'm so grateful to have that. And, to have a personal friendship with Nick as well is super special. You know, we go snowmobiling, we go ride dirt bikes, and I've known him for quite a while, and it's always been a dream of mine to make something that was on a level good enough for their team to be like, okay, we'll put this out, you know. And I've tried numerous times over the years and failed, and you know, been told no, and that's totally fine, and that's something that every artist needs to go through to, you know, improve themselves. But finally getting that remix on the remix album was a momentous feeling for me. So I was really proud of that.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. And do you have any more trips coming up? Are you coming out of the country? Or are you going on tour? What's next for you?
Um, we're figuring out 24 right now as far as tour dates go. You know, we were so focused on the album and getting it out, and finishing up 23 strong. So hopefully it leads into some great opportunities, and there's a lot of interest, and I'm sure we're gonna have a big 24. So yeah, right now I'm just I also run another company as well, so I put a lot of my time into that, and you know, just writing as much music as possible. It feels amazing to have, you know, basically all of 2024 releases planned out. There's a bunch of collabs and remixes beyond the album that are all pretty much done and ready to go. And um, for the first time in my music career, I'm not like, oh, I need to make this and release it and get it out. And like, you know, there's like a pressure behind that that causes the music to struggle and causes it to not be as fun. And so for the first time, and whenever I can remember, I'm in a good spot with a ton of new music and releases ready, and just writing for fun, and you know, loving it.
That's awesome. You're on a roll, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do this year.
Thank you.
All right. You guys can support Bass Physics this week with his release, Lost in Space, coming out. And you can join us back here again on the Launchpad next time. My name is Chris Nicholson. Thank you so much again for joining us, Bass Physics. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, much love. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Once again, thanks for tuning into the Launchpad and Moon Landing, and we'll see you next time.